I can't help it, I just seem to see the world different. It ain't Republicans or liberals, it's mental illness. The internet is only interested in left opinions. Cancel culture's got more power lately than the First Amendment. If you don't like it, leave. We will not defund police. We don't want no riots in our neighborhoods or in the streets. We respect freedom of speech. We protect what we believe. We don't want nobody dead, so please do not tread on me. In America, the freedom ain't free. In America, got soldiers dying overseas. So America, you say what we believe. My America, I won't ever take a knee. Our freedom is the reason you can disrespect our flag. If my stars and stripes, I can't help it, I just seem to see the world different. It ain't Republicans or liberals, it's mental illness. The internet is only interested in left opinions. Cancel culture's got more power lately than the First Amendment. If you don't like it, leave. We will not defund police. We don't want no riots in our neighborhoods or in the streets. We respect freedom of speech. We protect what we believe. We don't want nobody dead, so please do not tread on me. In America, the freedom ain't free. In America, got soldiers dying overseas. So America, you say what we believe. My America, I won't ever take a knee. Our freedom is the reason you can disrespect our flag. If my stars and stripes offend you, then I'll help you pack your bags.
Good evening, America! How y'all doing? This is your friendly neighborhood bearded weirdo coming at you loud and proud as I always do. And with this magnificence upon my face. How you doing, guys? How you doing? It is Tuesday, and you are here at the corner of Church and State where you should be and where you need to be. And sitting to my left is my best friend, my compadre, my brother-at-arms, and he also happens to be the man that kicks me in the rear end sometimes because he's my pastor. So he is the one, the only, the Pastor Gary Podosek. And then we got the man behind the iron curtain pushing our buttons oh so nicely. It is our good friend, Steve Cattell. So how you guys doing today, man?
Doing well.
Yep. Doing well? That's good. Look,
good.
before we get started on anything, before I start a monologue, everybody out there that's watching this thing, I need you to hit the like button. I need you to hit the share button. I need you to hit the subscribe button. No matter what platform you're doing this on. And if you're on Rumble, we want all the Rumbles. If you're on audio and you can do stars, we want all the stars. So please give us that. We had a major uptick on the last video. I thank you guys for that. We also got a couple more subscribed followers. So again, thank you for that. We will not grow without you, and we need your help to keep it going. That being said, today's topic is continuing on the idea of veracity.
This is a good one.
Last time we were like, where did it go? Today, we're going to talk about ethics, if you couldn't tell by the title, and where that plays. And it is becoming more and more important. Well, it's always been important, but it's becoming more and more obvious that the majority of the world doesn't know what real ethics are, and the majority of the world also really doesn't care. But before we get into all that, I would like to, number one, some definitions for you. So last week we talked about truth and veracity. And truth is the conformity to fact or reality, exact accordance with that which is or has been or shall be. The truth of history constitutes its whole value. We rely on the truth of the scriptural prophecies. Again, pointing to Christ, as it said, as is, has been, and forever will be. Okay, that is Christ. So he is the absolute truth on all things. And then we went over what? Veracity. And veracity is the habitual observance of truth, or habitual truth. As a man of veracity, his veracity is not called in question. It is absolutely living, and it's not just living a little here, a little there. It's habitual. You think of it, usually you hear the word habitual. It's a habitual offender, somebody who offends, breaks the law multiple times, the same law over and over again, keeps getting in trouble for the same crap.
One of my favorite bits in Liar Liar.
Okay.
He needs some legal advice. Stop breaking the law.
But in this case, to have veracity, to be a person of veracity, you need to habitually live for truth. End of story. So, and we talked about where has it gone? Where has it been? And it's because men and women of this country and in this world have let it go because they'd rather live a lie than live the truth. Well, today we're going to bring up a couple definitions for you, a couple more of them. We're going to use that 1828 dictionary that we oh so love because words were actual words then and had truthful meanings.
Not that I wrote it, but you're welcome.
What?
I'm just saying, I didn't write it.
Yes, you are the
but
one
you're
that
welcome.
introduced us all to it. So first, we were going to look up the word ethics. All right. It is the doctrines of morality or social manners, the science of moral philosophy which teaches men their duty and their reasons of it. Second definition also says a system of moral principles, a system of rules for regulating the actions and manners of men in society. Now, please disregard the whole when it says men in this, it's not talking about gender here.
Yeah.
I can hear y'all. I can hear the alphabet
I felt
mafia.
the eye roll.
You felt, yeah. I can the alphabet mafia over
Sexist
here.
pig.
No, when he's saying men in this instance, he's talking about mankind. Okay.
You see that guy Noah Webster on there.
Yeah.
He looks like a man's man to me. I'm telling you.
He's a colonialist all the way around. You know.
I bet you he was a racist too.
It's a good bet. I don't think he was, but I'm sure they'll call him that.
I mean, if he had a statue, it's been torn down a long time ago. Let's be clear. That guy knows words. We don't like words. Tear him down.
Yeah, they don't because now they keep making up new definitions for words that never had
Facts,
those
which is why we use this dictionary.
Because that's all right. I haven't looked at a recent dictionary, but I should and look up the word woman and see that it's just blank now.
I feel bad for women right now. That's got to be tough, man. That's got to be real tough.
Section 9.
The Title IX stuff.
Title
oh my
IX stuff.
gosh, man.
All right. So that being said,
Ridiculous.
we just told you what ethics is, and it brings up the word morality. So we're going to talk about the definition of the
Wheel
word
of
morals.
morality. Turn, turn,
turn,
turn.
turn.
Tell us the lessons that we should learn. A trip to Tahiti. Woo!
Oh, back when cartoons were good. All right. So morals is the definition is the practice of the duties of life as a man of correct morals. It is conduct, behavior, course of life in regard to good and evil.
What?
Oh, and just so y'all know, that to you, what makes what out there, what being, what person, what line of thinking
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
tells us what good
Whoa,
and
whoa,
evil
whoa.
is.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I heard that came from a tree, man.
It did. That's what happens when Adam. When Adam
It was a tree.
Adam stood there while he let his wife eat from the tree of good and evil. The only reason we know
Knowledge. Knowledge
Knowledge.
of
Sorry.
good and evil.
The knowledge.
Which is very important. And you know what? And
the tree of knowledge of good
I
and evil. Yeah.
bring that up because I think that's one of those. Again, it's a real simple like
One of those
contextual thing,
misnomers, too.
but it's a misnomer, right? That by eating it, that Adam and Eve somehow became capable of good and evil. No, they were always capable of good and evil. Good and evil.
They
has
just didn't know it
existed.
existed.
They
had
didn't
no knowledge
know
of
about it. They had knowledge. They had no knowledge of it. Now they have knowledge of it. And what knowledge of something does is it makes you. It's interesting. You don't know you did something wrong until you eat the fruit, right? So the interesting part about that is that they were deceived, right? Mm-hmm. Because the serpent deceived them to eat the fruit. They didn't know that deception, following that deception, was wrong until after
Yep.
they ate the fruit.
So where does that knowledge come from? How do you figure out what is good and evil? How do you figure out what is what is morality? I'm glad y'all asked.
They didn't ask something. Did you hear? I didn't get. Did
I heard
bat
it.
phone ring?
I heard it.
The bat phone ring?
Yes, it did. You can only know morality.
Hello, Commissioner Gordon. Yes. They want to know what evil is and what good is. Oh, okay. I'll get them right on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. You cannot know what morality is unless you know God.
This is that fact.
Period.
Yeah.
Because if we're coming up with what morals are, then it's subjective.
Well,
What's a good moral to you? If we're all doing this all in our own head, what's good for you is not good for me, and we're not going to agree on it. There's no way of agreeing on it, and there needs to be a standard when it comes to morality.
And so morals, and if you go back to the definitions, right? Morals dealing with the aspect of knowing what the difference between good and evil is, right? And ethics basically being the standardized rules that govern that set of beliefs.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm giving a very basic summarized definition of it so we can kind of keep things in control and order. If God is not in the picture, okay, you don't have a system of good and evil. You don't have a knowledge of good and evil. You basically become the own determiner of whether or not something is good or something is evil. So let me ask you a question. I'll put that out here for everybody who comments and, but for you right now, Mr. behind the booth.
Sure.
If nobody told you that this was wrong, and you see a bank and you see a bunch of money go into the back of the safe, and you go, I really need money because I am really hard up on times. I'm just going to go back there and I'm just going to take it as much as I can fit in my bag and walk out. Mm-hmm. Now, nobody told you that that was wrong, but here's the bigger part of the question, right? Nobody can tell you that it is wrong. Is what you did wrong.
No.
Right? So this is what happens when you add a godless society. But now, that wasn't your money. That was my money. So now when I go to the bank and I go to get my money, it's gone. Was a wrong done to me?
Yes.
Yes.
Because if that was done to you,
Then it would be wrong.
it would be wrong. See, but here's the problem. What ethics and morals do is they set a baseline, right, for everybody, whether you believe, and this is one of the things, there are people that talk about this, and there are people that don't actually believe in a Judeo-Christian God. But they will say that one of the things America has correct is that their foundational beliefs and the foundational system of government is based on morals around the Judeo-Christian God. Because of that, right? Because they are, America is the greatest country on the earth because of that. But what happens if you remove God out of the nation?
Your anarchy.
Well,
now you have no standard as
you
to
have
what
no
morality
standard
is.
of morals, right? And so that code of
straight
ethics,
anarchy then.
the code of ethics becomes determinative to the person, not to a statue of higher authority. And so now, right? And this goes back to veracity. Why is truth important, right? If that truth can become subjective, which is what everything that you're seeing right now is going on, right?
Yeah.
Everything in the world currently is trying to make God subjective, right? And the whole idea of, it's my truth. I don't care what your truth is.
It's not
no
truth,
offense.
it's a lie.
It doesn't matter if you want to believe you're a
might be a
tree.
fact,
if
but
you
it's
want to
not
believe
truth.
you're a tree and you have unicorn fairy dust come out your butt, fine. That's okay. I don't care about that. But that's not true. Right? I don't live in that false reality. Right? This is one of those things where I have this conversation with people all the time, and people are like, "Oh, you're homophobic." No. You should meet one of my best friends, not him. But I'm not. Okay? I'm not afraid of homosexuals.
Nope.
I can be around them. I can go to places where they hang out. I have no problem with them. They're human beings. I am not transphobic. But I will say this.
They do make me feel creepy, though.
I have a problem with somebody, though, that demands that I believe in their lie.
Yep.
And that is where this becomes a problem, right? And what is currently happening, we were just talking about it just a few minutes ago, the Title IX stuff, right? You have trans males, women, all right? They're calling themselves women, but they're not. They're guys participating in women's sports. And now they're being told that that's okay because they identify as a female. I'm sorry. That is what you personally feel like. But every woman that is in that participating sport doesn't agree with that. And so now
Science doesn't agree with that.
no, and so what? Right? Hold on. You're going too far there, man. All right, calm down. That's God's stuff. We don't talk about God's stuff.
I wasn't talking about God. I'm talking about science. Science doesn't-
God. We science proves God. Let's cut to the chase.
Oh, yes, you're correct. Science does prove God. I mean, yes.
Yeah, went over his
No,
head.
it didn't go over my head.
But considering you're the science nerd,
Don't look up dictionary. Don't look up. It's like you're not gonna like what they say.
an
I
adult
was interested.
female human being. Oh, they still acknowledge them as female. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's data
surprise.
from the Oxford.
Okay. A disrespectful form of address
to a woman. You're
Wait.
Don't be daft, woman. Sorry, we're reading the British.
Hold on.
Reading the
Woman
British
is
dictionary.
being disrespectful to woman. I don't understand.
If you just go up, you're like, "What you talking about, woman?" That's
And then
disrespectful.
they have a picture of an adult female human, and it looks like a dude.
I mean, come on. What's his face? What's his face became Woman of the Year. I
know.
mean,
But bringing back this point, right, of this thought process that, okay, and where this ties in with ethics, I'll bring it back in just a minute. But when you're talking about, like, a person who says that they are a biological female, though they lack the anatomy therein, okay, and they are a biological male, that person's life is not changed by that belief system. Okay? Right. Their belief system, whatever they believe, that is their independent belief. They can have that belief.
Whatever lie they want to believe, go for it.
In this country, have the freedom to believe that. Here's where this becomes a problem. Morality. Remember I said that if you go ahead and you steal money out of that bank and nobody told you it was wrong and you went and did it and there's no law of governing that says that it is wrong, did you do wrong? Technically, no. So in this government right now where they're saying that this is allowed, this is okay, is this person technically doing something wrong? No. According to a godless, lawless society.
Yeah.
Okay? But when you go and you say, okay, but hold on a second, guys. What does God say about this person and what they believe? Well, I'll leave it here. What does God say about Leah Thomas? Which I don't even know his actual name. To be honest.
It's William.
Is it William?
Something. It's
Okay,
William
fine. Whatever.
something.
That dude who's not a chick. Okay? What does God say about him? Is he a girl?
Nope.
Did he make a mistake?
Nope.
Okay, how do we know?
Because God
doesn't
said.
make-
Because God created them, man and woman. God created, right? We know what God creates. We know the anatomy of God's creation. We believe God created all of us, human beings, and he gave us all of these parts for one purpose, and that purpose is for reproduction, right? Okay? And so all of that comes together. We believe that, and that law governs how we interact with each other.
Yep.
Right? It governs how we integrate in society. It controls how we build families. It controls all that. How does a person like Leah Thomas continue to exist in a world where these laws say everything that person believes is wrong? Can they function and exist in that world?
Well, where people say that what they believe is wrong, no.
No.
In the current state of things, yes.
And I'm not saying about what's current. I'm saying according to God.
According to God, no, they can't.
Right. And so this is the problem. This is what is propelling the godless act, because what they see is if we remove God from the equation, then these individuals are now technically considered free.
And again, this is all
I'm just giving you perspective.
This is all continuing scope. Without truth, you don't have veracity. Without veracity, you don't have morality. Without morality,
without ethics, you don't have morality.
Without ethics, you don't have Without morality, you can't have ethics.
You can't have ethics. Yeah.
Okay, and now you see the way that we'll just use America, because the rest of the world is screwed up as all get out. Let's just be honest. But America is even more. Okay, way more. You cannot govern without ethics.
Yep.
You cannot govern without ethics.
And morals.
Pure and simple.
Yep.
And again, vice versa. If you
Right.
can't govern without
morals
ethics,
dictate
if you
the
don't
ethics.
have if you don't have morals, then you don't
You
have
don't have
ethics.
ethics.
And
Right.
that's what we have. We have a world now. We have a country now being run by leaders who have their own morality, not God's morality. They've
Right.
made up their own. What they feel is good in their own hearts. I read that somewhere. That didn't end up too well for some people. Living to their own, whatever they felt was good to live. But read the scriptures, you'll find out. Doesn't end up for people very well with people that live like that. I mean, there was the whole Noah's flood. God wiped out 99.9% of the human population one time because people were doing things that they felt was okay themselves to do.
2 cities evaporated in the dust.
Yeah, 2 cities in the Bible.
God
Look,
invented the Thanos snap.
and just a little, and for those you're going, oh well, those are Bible stories. Look, Pompeii, okay, was in its time was a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, quite frankly, and so much so that they enjoyed the debauchery and the lack of morals that they had. They enjoyed it so much that when they knew the volcano was erupting, they broke into orgies.
Well, I think there's even now, you could go to current, right? So go to current times. And this is going to sound, just roll with me for a minute.
Wait,
you're saying government, and
that's a 420 policy.
You're saying government. You're saying how ethics is required to govern, right? And so, and I agree 100%. But when you have leaders in a country now that have given up on morality and ethics as code,
they've given up on God.
They're not godly at all, right? And they decide that they're going to then make rules, make laws based off of what they perceive as their right call or the right decision. You actually now have a society and a government that is in effect today, where the ramifications of the things that the government has decided to do are felt now.
Yep.
Let's talk about we can bring it right back to the whole Title IX thing that we were talking about just a few minutes ago. But women are getting hurt.
Yep.
Physically hurt.
You have men who say they're women in MMA fights
beating the
against
living
real
tar
women,
out of women,
breaking their skulls
and their orbital bones. That's a real thing. If you don't believe it, look it up. And then you have, but that's just that area. But then look at some of the other things. You have the mutilation. People are literally children, and I'm going to say children because they're literally being indoctrinated at children's age.
Here's the funny
to believe that let me finish. To believe by states that are actually putting this junk in schools, i.e., hello, Governor Murphy, we're talking about you and your garbage school system here, putting in the schools, teaching kids when they're in what grade did we say? Third, fourth grade, that they're teaching them about how they can be gender fluid, okay, and that their gender is optional or something.
And in third grade, teaching them positions,
and then you're teaching them all this sexual stuff, and then until they're seniors in high school, do you teach them about celibacy and protection? Oh, that's good. They've already cut it off. I don't think they need a condom anymore. But hey, it can grow back, right? No. Can't fix that garbage. Nope. And by the way, how do you turn Bob into Margaret? Oh, I don't know. Pump them full of estrogen. Well, science tells that causes cancer.
In men,
but I'm getting to the point, and I'm bringing these things up because those are the actual Sodom and Gomorrah ramifications that are happening today. Cancer is at an all-time high. All the child suicides, all the child harm that's coming about this. Pedophilia. I mean, these things are heinous acts against human beings and civilization.
And you know what?
And the pain and anguish that people go through, honestly, I'd rather God just do that again.
It'd be
less painful.
Here's the facts. And do you know why it's happening? Do you know why all these things, everything he just said, why they're so quick to want to mutilate children? To get a 3-year-old to say that I'm not a boy, I'm a girl.
I'm not Stacy, I'm Steve.
All right, I'm still waiting for the kid that says at 3. I'm still waiting for the 3-year-old. I'm still waiting for the 3-year-old that says they're Superman and their parent throws them off the top of a building. Okay. This is the line of thinking that y'all people are doing. Okay, the reason why people don't, the reason why they're
in a pile of Black Widow spiders in hopes they become Spider-Man.
Yeah, right. The reason why all of this stuff is going on right now is because of two things. One is a repercussion of the other. The fact that there is no sanctity for life,
and stupid people procreate.
Well, that's not the reason for this. No, the whole reason why people don't have sanctity.
help.
It doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help the gene pool. I get you. Okay, but because the reason why we don't care about the sanctity of life, I mean, and some of you might go, oh, I care about life. I care about life. Okay, then why are you against getting rid of abortion? Because honestly, if you actually believe in the sanctity of life, you should be an abortion abolitionist. Not somebody who's pro-life, just absolutely abolishing abortion, period. Just like we abolished
Repeat your
slavery.
statement.
Huh?
If you're what? What's the stance on that again? That you would become an abolitionist?
That you should. That if you actually care about the sanctity of life, you should be an abolitionist against
Okay,
abortion.
if you believe in the sanctity of life.
If you believe in the sanctity of life.
I missed the part where you said that
You cannot
part.
say that you believe in the sanctity of life, and then the minute you get pregnant, you're walking down to the murder market and getting the child chopped up and pulled out of you. Okay, you can't say that. And the whole reason why we do not have a sanctity of innocent life or life in general is because we have pushed God out of everything.
Well, and here's the thing.
And
though.
without the morality that following, submitting, and serving a living God, without the morality that comes from doing that, that is why we do not care about life. Because if we cared about life, we wouldn't be killing them in the womb. If we cared about life, we wouldn't be telling them that God can make a mistake and you can chop whatever you want off and get whatever you want put on. Okay? If we were actually cared about the sanctity of life and actually followed after the living God that gives all morality, a good 90% of the issues that we have in this country wouldn't exist or around the world. But it's because you don't care. We wouldn't have sex trafficking if people actually truly cared about the sanctity of life. We wouldn't have the murders going on. It's so easy to kill people. Why? If you're willing to kill a kid in the womb before it's born, there's no difference to ending the life when they're walking around on the street.
And you know what? And I want to point this out because this concept.
And now, mind you, we weren't trying to go into the abortion thing, but without ethics, this is the world you create. Without having ethics in the way that you govern a country or govern your home or govern a church or govern a school or any type of government, no matter what level, without ethics, again, which means without morality and without the truth and without the one who is the truth, you get what we got right now.
And because you are making a statement, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't want you to think I'm saying you're wrong. But what happens is and I know this because one of the biggest things that I've worked with you alongside in a lot of the things that we've talked about in the past is it's one thing to just come out and make statements, right? A lot of people get up on soapboxes, they make a lot of bold statements, but when you listen to what they said, it's like there's a bunch of stuff in there, but there's no solutions. Right?
Oh,
because
there's a massive solution.
Hold on. But even if you present the solution, which I know the solution you're going to present because I've read the map, there's a problem that if you ignore it, the solution really won't have the impact that you want it to have. And that is understanding how we got here. And I know it's not here, but there's an important understanding. So it's one thing to say, okay, well, godlessness. Okay, well, I didn't elect a Satan worshiper.
No.
Okay.
But you elected people that took God out of the schools, took prayer out of the schools.
I didn't elect them, but I'm just saying. But in general, right? But in that though, I don't think that people even acknowledge. Like, I don't think people went in going on voting for this guy because he said he's going to do that or he's going to do this, and that's the catch. It's not you're being lied to.
Oh, it is most certainly that you're being lied to.
No. You're not being lied to. At least not the way you think you are. See, there's a bigger agenda. And it really does start back in the garden, back in the very beginning, because the serpent lied, right? Mm-hmm. But he spoke words that God said. And twisted them just a little bit. And that's the key.
He rose the question.
That
did
just
he really
a little bit.
say?
He literally said the same thing God said. He just put an inflection and a question mark at the end.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay? And put did in front. He just turned what God said into a question. And that was all he said. And it's the subtlest little changes, right? So go with me here. In Isaiah 5, verse 20, right? It says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. If we looked at it as plain and black and white as Isaiah presses, right? Where, okay, well, that's obviously, like, okay, candidate A, stand up. Okay, do you believe we should murder this young child on stage right now? Yes, let's slit his throat right now and kill him. Okay.
That's evil.
Okay. Person B, step up. Do you believe we should murder this child on stage right now? No. That's horrible. Is this the interview? Yes. No. Okay, we like B. Like, I mean, yeah, obviously, if every election was held like that, we would never elect any of these idiots. It would be simple. Like, do you want to kill this child? Yes. Okay, get off. And you should go to jail. Like, can we arrest him now? He literally committed. He literally said.
You can't arrest him for thoughts.
Well, I mean, it's attempt.
It's not attempt.
Look, if they're doing this to Trump, we can do it to that guy. Okay? I mean, man didn't do anything, and I'm just saying. You don't want to talk about Minority Report. All right, thought police. But here we go. It isn't that black and white, right? It isn't. So how does it happen? And I go back to that serpent. What has happened and what they've been doing is they have been changing vocabulary.
Yep.
You're bringing up the Webster 1828 dictionary for a reason. Why? Because definitions have changed. Words have changed. The way they use those words have changed.
And they haven't changed because it needed to be updated to the proper language and all that.
Right.
No, they changed it with a purpose. Because if they change what a woman is now, if they change it in the books, the dictionary says that, this is what a woman is, and it leads to the whole alphabet mafia stuff. Now you're going to believe it. If they preach that, marriage, what is marriage? Marriage was invented by God. It's not a political thing. It's not a state thing. But marriage has always been, since the beginning of time, between a man and a woman.
Hold on.
And now they changed that. Oh, well, marriage can be between two guys.
Right. That's and even then.
And that's
hold on. But even then, that is still that's still bolder in my opinion. I'm going really like, I want you to hear what I'm saying, and I really want you to pay attention. It starts early, and it starts even with sometimes parenting. Okay, which we've talked about on the show plenty of times. But in the beginning, right? You have a child, right? You had a kid.
Yep.
You have many kids. All right, girls. You get to a point where they got to start going to the potty.
Yep.
They got to start wiping themselves.
Yep.
What do you tell them to wipe?
I didn't. Mommy handled that.
Front to back.
Okay, right. But
what part?
What do you call it?
The hoo-ha.
Yep, hoo-ha. They gave every name except for vagina. The vagina is a perfectly good name.
It's
Why?
a medical term.
Because it's the medical biological term for that part of the anatomy. What boys have to go pee? Pull out your ding-a-ling, wee-wee, ding-dong, ping-pang, whatever. Call it Pac-Man. I don't care. But no, you won't call it a penis. Why? Because penis has become a vile term. No, it's not. It's a perfectly good term. Call it by what it is.
And this is why when you got a kid that goes to the doctor and the doctor asks them what hurts and they come up with it, they need to hear the actual medical term.
Right.
It's a medical term. It's not a dirty word.
And we
actually did teach our kids.
And that's good. And you should. And here's my point, though. How many parents don't because they've been indoctrinated to believe that those words are bad.
Yeah, they're dirty.
And so guess what? This has happened all the way throughout.
Well, I mean,
right?
you
can't use certain terminology to describe certain things because that's offensive.
Oh, well, that's like the same thing.
Or
Being
that's
called nowadays, being called a Puritan is a curse word, but it's because of the Puritans that we even have the foundation laid for this country to be made.
What color are we?
White.
According to my records, I'm Caucasian.
Yeah. They changed it to Caucasian because you're from the mountains of Caucasus.
But I don't care. But let's be clear. This is what I mean. This concept of vocabulary being diminished, right? Hold on.
Another shade of brown. To be honest with you, if you look at the brown, color
I'm
chart.
not white.
Well, no. If you look at the brown color chart, our skin color comes up in the brown color chart.
Yeah.
You know what other color does too, which really messed with some libtards? Orange.
But
Orange Man can't be bad.
Hold on. But here's the thing. You mentioned like
it's the level of melanin.
This is where the immorality aspect, right? The immorality. So we then what we do is we take words that are known immoral behavior, and we make them less immoral by just changing the words. And I'm going to get to a bigger point before you jump on, because there's something that's even bigger, and it's really important. Because I know that we're going to come into a world where this is going to become more in your face, so it's better to be equipped and armed now. You're going to have people who go, okay, well, give me an immoral vocabulary word. Okay, abortion. Right? Do you want to murder a fetus or not? Okay? Abortion is
Murder.
bad. But now it's not. It's called pro-choice. They won't say the bad word.
Do you know what this reminds me of? There was a specific comic who talked about this in his comedy sketches. Like, instead of it being called, I forget, what was it? It was basically, instead of PTSD, what it used to be called. At one point, it was shell shock. Another time, it was...
Yeah.
George Carlin talked about this
Yep.
He made fun of this stuff. He's like, it's no longer... It used to be battle fatigue.
Yeah.
Now it's shell shock. You got what it is. Like, now it's... post-traumatic stress disorder. Bigger words means the same thing, but softens it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the thing. You soften baby killing or murder by calling it abortion. You blunt. You make it easier to take abortion.
You keep
when you switch
downgrading
that
the immoral behavior.
to pro-choice.
And so what now happens is, because of the way the degradation of the vocabulary has worked, right? And it has made immoral behavior seem less immoral or less harmful. Now you get the straw mans. Okay. Well, I need to know right now where you stand. Are you pro-choice, or are you against women's rights?
Yep.
Right, yeah.
It's not even pro-life anymore. It's against women's rights.
Now, this is the way now, because this is, you want to talk about how absolutely evil a godless society looks. This is where it goes. This is now the end point, right?
Oh, I should have
because
had you bring up that one.
because
There's
now
a
what
video
you
that I
end
think
up
would've
with
tied in with this. I didn't know we were gonna
now
go
what
this
you
way.
end up with is you end up with people who can come in and they can argue with a really, really bad straw man argument like this, where they put you in a position where your A or B argument is pick one. And here's how you combat this. I don't accept your options. That's how you answer. And this is where the moral, godly people need to stop. They need to stop participating in the A-B arguments, and they need to start inserting the option C's. You need to start.
Actually,
you need to start
the
determining.
reality is that they're giving you B/C option. You need to give them the
A
A
option,
option,
whatever.
because
you
it
can
is
change
the
the
God
phraseology,
option.
but the point, you get my point.
Yes.
You
No, I
need
agree
to
with you.
stop
I agree. This is the
participating-
way I argue
You
with
need to
people all the
stop
time.
participating in the arguments they present. So, like, this is where, if you want to talk about government, and I know where you're heading back, and you don't know Jesus, you don't know God, you aren't going to be able to actually participate with the A argument. You are going to pick A or B, and you're always going to pick wrong. But if you know God and you fear Him with a holy reverential fear, you will not accept an A-B, you will not accept a B-C argument. I like that. You will not accept a B-C argument.
You're gonna take
before
an
Christ.
A. You're gonna
You want an A argument, and you will only present that argument back to them. You'll go, I'm sorry, I don't accept your offers. Here's the one I present.
And you
to
know what's sad? In today's political realm, there's only literally I can count them on my hands.
Probably about 5 or 6, maybe.
that are doing it. 2 of them are governors. One is in Florida. One is in Iowa. And there's a couple in the House. People like Chip Roy and people like him who are actually doing it. And then there's a couple that sound really nice, but they don't ever do anything.
I like that other old guy too,
What one? Kennedy?
Kennedy.
He's
cracks me
great
up.
for sound bites.
He cracks me up. It's just for sound bites. I don't really know the guy too well, but he cracks me up. Ron Paul too. He
Ron
cracks
Paul-
sound bites.
Ron Paul is soundbite guy because he doesn't ever do anything with it. He just does really good soundbites. That's why I like Chip Roy. You never see him do soundbites, but he's actually trying to do things. Granted, he's fighting an uphill battle because it doesn't matter what side of the water you're on, whether you're left or right. There's so many of them that just don't care about.
So many sharks.
There's so many sharks in the water. Yeah. The uniparty is real, and the uniparty is destroying this country quickly because they don't have morality. And without morality, they do not have ethics, and therefore they don't give a rat's behind about you or anybody else. They just want to line their pockets while they're in their job.
But what they're doing is they're now making laws They're making non-ethical laws,
Yep.
and that's so like
like we got the seeing eye, or, well, whatever his name is, the meat whistle, or I mean the meat
What?
statue, the meat statue, whatever he is,
What did you call it?
the meat whistle.
That's something
Whatever.
totally different.
I know the meat stick in the meat puppet up there in DC.
Finally, you get the meat puppet.
Yeah, whatever.
I know what you were trying to say, but man, you hit everything but that.
If anybody's actually watching and listening, type in the comments meat
Whistle.
meat whistle if you're paying attention.
Meat whistle. Meat whistle Biden.
Meat whistle live. Anyway. No, because of the meat puppet up there in DC.
Kamala.
Yeah, and a senile dog Kamala. No, but Biden is now saying that he wants to. He's trying to, and in effect doing so, trying to change Title IX.
Yeah.
Okay, to not just be for women, but also people who believe they're women.
Yep. Terrible.
Believe in their insanity, which is funny because they weren't trying to do this originally, but then something happened about a week or so ago. Okay, we all know who the NCAA is. They're right now in court right now against many of the people that dealt with, the male swimmer Leah Thomas. Okay, they're in a lawsuit right now
Because of the girl who lost.
Well, no, there's several girls. There's a
Yeah, but the main
Riley
Gaines has been the one.
She's
really
been fighting hard. Riley Gaines, and there's another female, but you wouldn't know her. Todd Erzin's daughter, Todd Erzin from
but still,
Steve Day's
Yep.
show. But anyway, they did, however, there's a smaller, like the NCAA does most of the colleges.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the NIA, which is a smaller organization that oversees smaller colleges when it comes to sports. It's not like it's T-ball or whatever, but it is big. They are big enough programs, but the NIA looks over them. The NIA, within the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, came out and said that if you were born a woman, that's the only way you can play in women's sports.
good.
So that actually helps Riley Gaines and the other ones when they're going up against the NCAA, because now they're like, well, the NIA has admitted it. Why aren't you? And it goes against them. But now, when you've got a president who's coming in and wanting to change Title IX to now include anybody who thinks they're a woman, not just somebody who is actually a woman,
Right.
now the NCAA can go, Title IX, I got to be subjected to Title IX. And then get away with it now.
Yep.
Where before right now they're fighting a losing battle right now, because it's only a matter of time before the NCAA is kicked in the shins enough that they've got to give it up. But this is why they want to keep doing this, is because, again,
Well, I mean, look, NCAA can keep doing it, and if Biden does get away with changing the Title IX rulings and I shouldn't say fix, but ruin what was good for women in sports, college is going to have a big old falling out with women attendance.
I've been chuckling anyway, because for the last week or so, ever since this, what's her name? The girl that just like broke all those records in college football.
The basketball chick?
Yeah, Caitlin something. Whatever her name is.
Caitlin Connor.
Now that she's automatically signed to a WNBA team, now everybody's talking about,
that's sad.
She shouldn't do it.
She shouldn't. She literally
She would have made more money not going there.
She could literally end her career as a collegiate athlete and do
make
better
a crap ton money.
and do better with
Financially.
promos and doing something else with her life than she could playing for the WNBA.
Because
the WNBA literally loses every year,
money,
millions of dollars.
Well, see, here's the
not
thing.
even profitable.
Here's the thing with WNBA. Now you got all these people
Insane.
coming out complaining about how the top WNBA stars aren't making as much as the men. Okay, do you want to know why you're not making as much as the men?
Because you don't earn that much per showing.
People in other countries watch the NBA. People in the other countries don't watch you. Look at the stands.
Nobody watches women's basketball.
I'll tell you what. If you're the type of person that believes
It's
that
sad.
if you're the type of person
Because they
that
are
believes,
talented. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
They are talented.
For women,
She's
they're
very
talented.
She's
And
very talented.
okay,
It's
if
just
you're-
not a very attractive sport.
well, it's not.
It's just not an attractive sport.
Here's why it's not attractive. Men's quality of playing basketball. Women's quality of playing.
Well, all right. So hold on,
because yes, they're talented. But
you
if you put a woman, if you take
you know why? Do you know? But there's a factor. It is all right. So let's put it to you this way. You're talking about a couple things. First of all, let's talk about the demographic. The most people, the demographic that watches sports more than any other demographic are Men. Okay. So men also are attracted to the bigger, splashier thing, right? Yeah. Why do men watch NASCAR? It ain't to watch a car go around a track 50 times or 100 times or 500 times.
Wait for the crash.
Right? They want to watch a crash happen, okay? Boom, fire, accidents. That's what they want to see, right? Why do men watch football? Why is football the most
hard
watched?
hits?
Because
fast
hard
action.
hits, lots of high impact hitting, right? Why do men like hockey? Not because of the stick handling, because they get boxed on ice, okay?
And slam people
And
into the
slamming
boards.
people on the boards. Why do men like basketball? Well, let's go to baseball. Baseball's changed its whole entire way. It's
try to get more home runs.
To get more people in the seats. They made it easier for home runs to be hit because home
Which is
runs.
sad because I love pitching battles.
I know, but again, it's the flashy. Baseball was starting to go down, and they had to change things to make it more engaging.
Couldn't handle there not being enough action.
They want the more action, so they needed more home run hits, bigger parks, more filled seats.
Just let them all do steroids again.
Right. Well, I mean, I think they should have, but that's poor Barry. But then you get to basketball. What is the attractive aspect of basketball?
Dunks.
Slam dunks. Stylish, spinneroonie dunks.
People are
He's on fire.
Yeah.
You know.
NBA Jam. Love that game.
But fact, the amount of women in all of basketball that have dunked do not actually compare to the amount of men who have been on the moon. This is a fact. More people have been on the moon than women that have dunked.
And you want to know what's else funny?
In professional
you want to know what else is funny about that?
That is why nobody watches it. That's the reason. Lower the rim.
They already do.
No, it's not.
It's not a standard.
No,
10.
it's the same. It is the same. It is a standard.
And they have a smaller ball.
But that's the point.
And they're
it doesn't even matter.
Their lines are different,
but
too.
it doesn't matter. That's the point. Lower the rim. More people will watch because women can go boom and stand over top of. They're still Goliaths. I'm not saying that they're not big in their sport, but they just don't have the bone strength and the muscle density to get high enough to do that. And no, some can. Like, all right, let's be clear. And this is another phenomenal athlete. You want to talk about a premier female phenom talent. Serena Williams.
Yeah.
Unbelievable in women's sports.
She
is elite in women's tennis. She is not elite in men's tennis. A guy who couldn't even top, I forget, like the 200s in men's tournament, okay, beat her every frame.
6-0, 6-0.
Period. I mean, and she is the best in female. There is a difference, and you gotta understand there's a difference.
That little exhibition, she even admitted ahead of time
that
she knew she couldn't.
She knew she couldn't, but it was just to showcase. She did it more as I'm curious to see if I could compete against a male. It's more or less I'm just curious, because when you are the best in your gender, I mean, fine. I get it. You want to test the waters. Sure. That's adventurous.
People for years were saying, oh, you're so good you could beat the men.
But no.
This is why the top soccer players.
And this is also why nobody watches golf, because golf is not exciting.
No.
Sorry. It doesn't matter if you're a female golfer or a male golfer. I don't care.
Get me a real life Happy Gilmore, and then
somebody walks up there. Yeah, maybe.
The price is wrong.
And I also need the guy that you can't just be him. You need him.
Jackass.
You need Shooter McGavin. No, not that guy. And the other guy who goes, and I'll see you in the parking lot.
The big guy.
Nobody can see you.
Oh yeah, the guy just shaking his head. You
watch it. You'll pay. You'll see one day.
No.
Maybe we'll go out by the bay, have some hay. What do you say?
I eat pieces
of crap like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of crap for breakfast? It's such a great movie. So stupid, but man, oh man, is it funny.
It is.
Here's one more thing too. I heard on a comedian talking about it before. The reason why the NBA isn't WNBA doesn't do well. Name a basketball team, a female basketball team in your town.
No. Because I don't know. I don't even
know any of them.
I don't know anything.
Well, that's the thing. Do you
I literally
realize?
because I don't watch women's basketball.
Right.
Well, no,
Because it's not exciting enough for me to watch it.
Do you know why the WNBA even right now still exists?
Because the NBA supports it.
No, because it's funded.
No.
Well, yes, it's true. It's funded by the NBA.
The money the NBA spends to keep the WNBA alive is actually a tax write-off for them because they're helping support another thing. So they get a tax write-off.
Charity.
That's pretty much what it is.
Charity for the kids.
Okay, so again, we got into all this. That all this stuff happens because there's no ethics. Because you have people that are in charge of things that can't tell the difference between good and evil any more than they can tell the difference between their butthole and a hole in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's and it had. Granted, it does start as simple as husbands and wives, parents need to run their households with actual ethics.
Yeah.
Because if you're running your house, making decisions off of knowing the truth and having the morals of nature's God, then when they grow up and they get into positions of power or politics or what have you, they will make the right decisions. Because our founding fathers even said it, that this country will not live on if we do not have moral men in office. What do we have now? Can you, without going past your one hand, can you find an actual moral man or woman that is in office right now? I don't care what side you want to think on. Can you?
Well, and this is, but here's the thing though, and I think that I will go this route only as not like I'm not saying devil's advocate because it's not that kind of thing, but I will say it in the sense of
lesser too evil.
Not even that. I'd say it in the sense of just a more gracious understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect people, and this is coming from a pastor. I don't expect people to operate in pure perfection of the Christian faith. I think it's
well, there was
erroneous.
only one perfect being, and
Well,
we nailed him to a cross. Okay,
right, and I'm not saying that either. But what I'm saying is that I think that there's a standard. I think there's a standard line where we understand what the expectation of morality in a family looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And what it really means is that you are taking. Let's just be very simplistic in this.
Very blunt.
I'm not blunt, but be very simplistic. If you take the 10 Commandments and you can go, look, I agree, murder's bad.
And it's murder, not kill.
Okay,
that's a whole nother discussion.
Murder. All right, murder is bad. All right.
Yep.
I'm taking an innocent life that didn't need to die. Right. And I'm taking that person's life. Okay.
Yep.
I'm stealing your wife. Right. I'm committing adultery.
That's bad.
Right. I am stealing from you. Right. I'm taking things that don't belong to me. I desire your possessions over my own. Right. When you look at these things and you just put these kind of very simple building blocks, I think it's not far-reaching to say, okay, don't just do those ones. Do the rest of them too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that was what, 4?
Yep.
Okay, there's only 6 more. It ain't gonna kill you. It isn't. It really isn't.
And if you
but
just look,
the first one is the
one's
most important.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that one, you really are leaving out the other chances for the other 9 to even survive.
And
Much like our First Amendment and our Second Amendment.
well, the whole reason for the second one is to protect the first one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
What good is the freedom of speech? What good is any of the other freedoms that
If
you
you can't
have
protect it.
if you can't talk about them? If you can't say that they exist, if you can't tell people this is why you believe these things to remain true, if I am robbed of the ability to say it, the rest don't mean anything now, do they?
Mm-hmm. And see, here's the thing. We've said all of how bad this world has
Drop
gotten.
the mic, but it's attached.
How bad this world has gotten, how bad this country has gotten, how bad individual households in this world have gotten, all because of there being no ethics due to no morality. all the way down the line. I want to encourage, there is a way to fix this. There is. There is an answer. There is a way to walk this back. It ain't going to be easy because it wasn't easy. It took a long time to get where we're at. It's just like losing weight. You didn't gain weight in 2 months. You're not going to lose it in 2 months.
True.
You gained 300 pounds over 20 years of eating whatever you wanted to eat. You're not going to lose, a couple hundred pounds in
a week.
Right. Okay, so these
very unhealthy, by the way.
yeah, if you do, please go see a doctor.
You're having problems.
You are having really bad problems. But so the solution is not going to be okay, we've decided to do it today and immediately things change tomorrow. But it is the truth. The reality is, in order to turn this back, it really is awakening or bust.
And I think that you're right.
When I say awakening is that we need to get back to first things first. What is the main foundation? Back when the Puritans landed on this country, what is the main foundation that they put into their documents, which then left into our documents that created this country? What is the number one built, the primary stone, the first stone they laid in the foundation of this country? God. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. Salvation through a God who is the only one who can save us from our vile, depraved thinking and ways of living. Mm-hmm. That is the only way back. I'm encouraging you. Look, if you were like us and you see that there are no ethics anymore, why do you think they don't teach it in school? Because if they actually taught ethics in high school, they'd have a bunch of informed people that would fight against them. But they can't teach ethics because you can't teach God in school anymore.
That's right.
Even that ethics class that you're getting in college, I suppose at Ethics 101, they're not teaching you ethics. Because in order to teach you ethics, they have to teach you morality. And without God, there is no
teaching
morality.
You social ethics.
Yeah, they're teaching you social, which is subjective and has no...
It's basically how you engage in society.
Yeah, and the way we need to engage in society is through everything that Jesus Christ taught us. So in all seriousness, if you see the crap and you want it to change, then it starts with each individual person.
Well, it starts with you.
Yeah.
It starts with you. It starts with you as an individual. Where's your relationship? Yep. Where's your walk? Where's your devotion and dedication to faith in Christ? And you know what? If you don't have it, and you're going, I'm too far gone. Well, that's the first lie that the enemy wants to tell you is that there's no hope for you. You're lost cause. You're not.
We have all fallen short of the glory of God.
And still.
Yeah, and still continue too, because we suck, okay? If we didn't suck, we wouldn't need a Savior.
Go back to the weight loss example. You're not going to get saved and believe in Jesus Christ today, and tomorrow you're going to be a pastor and lead 20 million to Jesus. No, you're going to be working on just turning the porn off on your computer tomorrow, and you'll be lucky if you do.
Right. Paul was before he was the great apostle. Okay, the man was a very, very knowledgeable man, very smart man when it came to the Jewish faith. He was a very learned man, even in Rome by Roman standards. The man was very, very smart. After he got saved, what did he do? He went 3 years and basically sat under the tutelage of somebody else and sat under the tutelage of the Word before he even started ministering again. So even him, who is considered one of the greatest apostles ever in the history of the church, because of what he did not only for Jews but for Gentiles. Okay, he himself had to go take 3 years of being like, all right, I got to get this right. I got to sit before God. I got to get rid of all my bad thinking, input all his good thinking, and now I can come out and start teaching the gospel. So, yeah, you get saved today. Yeah, there are going to be some miraculous things that change pretty quickly, but when it comes to fully understanding what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ, when it comes to fully understanding what it means to be a disciple of Christ and a servant to Christ and a slave to Christ. Yes, I said that word, and y'all can get mad at me for you want, but it's scriptural. Okay, when you bring all that into it, that is not an overnight thing.
But there is something that is overnight.
And that is what? Go with it.
I thought you were
I'm
going to run
curious-
with me.
You'll find out next time.
Next time on
Because like I was
Corner of Church and State.
I was gonna answer, but then I was like, wait a second, let me see where he's going. What are you gonna say that is instant?
The instant thing that happens is the moment that you come into the salvation of Jesus Christ is that you are radically transformed. Okay.
Okay, he did good.
You are radically transformed. Not everything is going to die immediately. Not everything is going to.
We're told to die daily.
Right. Okay. But
Pick up your cross daily.
Here's the thing: the thing that brought you to that place is the thing that will carry you to the next place and to the next place. But here's the coolest part about faith in Christ and walking this out day by day. The one thing you can't take back, or the one thing they can't take away from you, is that whatever it was that brought you there, you know, in that instant, in that moment, that God showed up and changed your life from that previous place to where you are today. And that, whether it's a mile, a half a mile, a quarter mile, whatever there is in between you and the old self, that's done with. Guess what? That is something you can build from, and you can build off of to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. But this is the key. That one thing, whatever it might be, guess what? That is one step improved in the things that you can teach your kids.
Yep.
That's one step improved in the things that you can start to impact in your community. You can change in the school.
Yep.
You can change in the government. You can change in society around you. You can influence the people that you know. Because this one thing that wasn't right before is right now. And that one thing is better than the difference than
Remember
it was
this,
previous.
Jesus didn't change the world because he witnessed to kings and priests and high officials in government. Jesus changed the world because
Fishermen.
he found the lowest of the low to
A tax collector.
he brought salvation.
That guy's really loved.
He taught the lowest of the low and showed himself fully to the lowest of the
Did
low.
get a doctor, though.
And they changed. They flipped the world. They flipped the known world right side up.
Yep. Took them a while to get it right, too.
Hey, they weren't all perfect with it either. I mean, one cussed about, no, I don't know God. Like, he was very adamant. If you'd have heard it in today's vernacular, you'd be like, no, I don't. Blankety blank, no God, no Jesus. I don't know him. It's basically what Peter did. I mean, you had another guy who was like, unless I see the nail hands in Jesus' hand and in his feet, I don't believe that he rose.
And then he goes, hey, bro.
yeah, right, bro. Check this out.
He's like, check this out. I'm going to cover your eyes.
He's like, hey, good to see.
He's like, all right, we're going to play peekaboo.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
But that, I mean, seriously, these were guys that got things wrong a lot. Mm-hmm. And they weren't perfect.
Just stay up and pray.
Yeah.
My favorite one.
Yeah.
I just need you to stay up and pray. I'm going to go out there and do the hard work. Just stay up and pray. Okay, comes back.
Every one of them out cold. And it was his three closest disciples, the ones that were close. And one of them was the one that was considered Jesus' best friend.
Yep.
John crashed out too. Okay?
So,
None
again,
of them, we're never going to be perfect.
The point is
that by accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you can allow God to do the process to bring forth back the morality, the character, the integrity, the ethics back into our lives, our individual lives. And then also, if you have a family, your friends, you're now introducing it back into them. It's going to take time to reverse this. Can it be reversed? Probably not, because, I mean, the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and I read the last chapter of the book, so I know what's going to happen. So, I mean, it does get worse before it gets better, but it gets extremely better.
well, you know what, though? This is one case I want to point out, and we're going to close out on this note. And because some people take that defeatist mindset.
It's not a defeatist.
No.
I'm not saying
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying you say that.
I rejoice in that fact.
But you have a different outlook on it. But the people that don't have that same outlook can look at it very much from the why bother? It doesn't make a difference.
Oh,
it's
it
all going to
makes
go
a
down
difference.
in
It
an
makes
end.
a massive
You know
difference.
who it does make a difference to?
The person that's affected by it that ends up joining us in
kids.
heaven.
The kids.
Yep.
The kids.
Yep.
These kids right now need hope. And how are they going to find hope when all they see is hopelessness?
Yep. And this is true.
And my heart breaks for that because we can just literally throw a whole generation of people in the trash because nobody wants to stand up and give a good moral argument for why they should believe in God and why they should believe in Christ, because none of their parents do. Their parents before them didn't, and all they see around them,
or if they did, it was a wishy-washy.
Yeah, and all they see around them is the vile and putridness of this world, and the way the governors and the dictates of this world continue to steer it into confusion and mass genocide. No wonder they are doomed at this current rate. If you want to do it for anybody, do it for your kids. And if it's not your kids, you don't have kids of your own, do it for the people whose families are close to you, their kids. Don't tell me you're not an aunt or an uncle or a cousin to some younger kids that you care about more so. What about them?
Yep.
What about them?
Yep. And
they matter too.
Look, make it real simple, and we're going to say this in closing. Real simple. Some of you might be asking, well, how do I get saved? Look, Romans says it real clear. You believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord.
Confess with your mouth.
And you confess with your mouth that he was risen from the grave. Okay? You have to believe it and confess it, and then you're saved. Period. End of story. Please do. Please.
If you don't know, and
look, our email, it's in the link tree. I was going to get to this, but I'm going to say it now. Our email's in the link tree. You got questions? Email us. We'll answer them.
And I will even say this: if maybe you've made that confession a long time ago and you've walked so far away you don't think there's a chance to come back.
Oh, there is.
I'd reconfess. I'd make a clear confession. Make it so.
Look,
make it
prodigal
clear.
son. God's wait.
Yep.
God wants you to return. He's waiting for you to come back. He's not going to come to you till you start coming to him. Then if you notice, the father sat on like the porch or the rooftop of the house until he saw the son coming, and then he got down and ran to him and met him.
Yep.
Once God sees you coming to him, he will run to you.
Yep.
Okay? So, in all seriousness, everything's in the link tree. The email, the everything on TikTok and Clapper and all that stuff, it's all there. Please email us if you have questions, if you have prayer requests, you want us to shoot. Again, I'll do the legwork. If you right now just recently accepted Christ and you want a church that's actually going to preach the truth and not, Joel Osteen crap, I'll do the research. I'll look for churches in your area. Right now I'm unemployed, so I've got time. You email it, I'll look. And I will prayerfully try to find you one in your area. If you live in South Jersey or in the South Jersey area and you're looking for a good church to come and hear the Word of God preached the way it's supposed to be, our church website is in the link tree as well, and you can come and hear this man preach in person, or whoever's preaching that Sunday in person. Bring the Word of God, and we would love to worship with you. If you have any questions for him, again, email is all through that. You just go through it all. And don't hesitate to do so. And if you want to still hear his messages, you can hear last week's or previous messages on our website as well. We have a way to do that as well.
Thanks.
But please do not stay where you are. God loves us so much that he loves us so much that he doesn't want us to stay where we are. He still loves you no matter where you are, but he doesn't want you to stay there. And we're only going to change this if we go more towards him instead of going away from him. So I pray you guys have a good night. I pray you guys have a good day. Enjoy your time. We will see you in 2 weeks when we will finish up this Veracity series. And then we will go on to other things we got. I mean, come on. We're getting into politics season, baby. Between president and New Jersey governor, there's going to be a lot going on.
It's true.
I've already been doing the research. Jack crap, you're still not getting my vote, and go pound sand and stick your head in somewhere that the sun doesn't shine. But I hope y'all have a good one. And we will see you in 2 weeks. So, peace.
I can't help it, I just seem to see the world different. It ain't Republicans or liberals, it's mental illness. The internet is only interested in left opinions. Cancel culture's got more power lately than the First Amendment. If you don't like it, leave. We will not defund police. We don't want no riots in our neighborhoods or in the streets. We respect freedom of speech. We protect what we believe. We don't want nobody dead, so please do not tread on me. In America, your freedom ain't free. In America, got soldiers dying overseas. So America,